You hear it all the time, right? Take care of yourself. But what does that actually mean in practice? Well, today we're going to break down a really practical framework for holistic self-care. It's about building a kind of strength that helps not just you, but everyone around you too. So let's just start with this question, because it gets right to the heart of everything. You know when you're on a plane and they tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before helping anyone else? It's not about being selfish, it's about being effective. Because really, how can you possibly show up for other people if you're running on empty yourself? And that idea brings us right here. It's time we reframe self-care. It's not some kind of luxury or indulgence, it's an absolute necessity. It is the foundation you have to build to be there for your family, your friends, and your community. Here's the key idea. When times get tough for everyone, your personal well-being isn't just about you anymore. It actually becomes a resource. Your strength can literally become someone else's support system. Your resilience helps create a more resilient community for everyone. Okay, but to take care of ourselves properly, we first need to get on the same page about what health even means. And I promise you, it is a much bigger, much more interesting idea than most of us were taught.
And check out the date on this definition. 1949. That's not a typo. More than 70 years ago, the World Health Organization put this out. This idea that our physical, mental, and social states are all connected, it's not new at all. True health has never, ever been just about not being sick.
And you can see how that idea just grew over time. From that amazing definition back in 1949, researchers in the 90s started expanding the model even more, which brings us to the really comprehensive framework we're going to dive into today, the 8 pillars of well-being. All right, so now we get to the core of it. We're going to break down these 8 areas that support our overall health. They're each distinct, but as you'll see, they are so deeply interconnected. So here they are, the whole lineup: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual, environmental, financial, and occupational. I want you to think of them like the legs of a table. If one of them gets a little wobbly or too short, the whole thing becomes unstable, right? It's the exact same idea here. So let's look at each one. First up, the one we all think of first: physical well-being. This is pretty much the foundation. It's our energy, our vitality. It's what allows us to show up and engage with the world every single day. And you know what? The basics here are incredibly powerful. We're not talking about running a marathon. Just getting 15 minutes of activity a day can make a huge difference. Fueling your body with good food. And please, never underestimate the power of sleep. Getting a solid 7 to 9 hours is like hitting a reset button for your entire system.
Next up, pillar 2, emotional well-being. This one is huge. It's all about our ability to understand our feelings, process them, and manage them in a healthy way.
And let's be clear, this is not about ignoring your feelings or pretending everything's fine. It's about learning how to navigate them. You know, reaching out for support is a sign of incredible strength. Things like meditation can calm your whole nervous system. And simple mindfulness tricks like that 5-4-3-2-1 technique can be a total lifesaver when you feel overwhelmed. The third pillar is all about intellectual well-being. This is that drive we all have to learn, to stay curious, and to keep expanding our minds and our skills all throughout our lives. Yeah, keeping our minds active and engaged is just crucial, and it doesn't have to be some huge undertaking. It can be as simple as getting lost in a good book, or as involved as taking a class. Honestly, even a deep conversation where you're really exchanging ideas, that's a workout for your brain. Pillar number 4 is social well-being. This one is fundamental because as humans, we are just wired for connection. This is all about building and taking care of a strong support system and really feeling like you belong. So this means you gotta actively nurture those friendships. You have to show up for your community. And finding ways to contribute is huge. When you share your skills with others, it doesn't just help them. It deepens your own sense of connection and purpose. Pillar 5 is spiritual well-being. Now, this is a really broad concept, and it goes way beyond just organized religion. It's really about connecting to something that feels larger than yourself, finding a sense of meaning and purpose in your life. And this is going to look completely different for everybody. For some people, it is religion. For others, it's that feeling they get spending time in nature, or meditating, or even just taking some quiet time to reflect on what really matters to them. It's whatever brings you a feeling of hope and inner peace. Next up, we've got environmental well-being. This pillar is all about recognizing that our personal health is completely intertwined with the health of our planet and our immediate surroundings. So, when you think about it, treating our environment with respect is actually a form of self care. Small things like saving water or reducing waste don't just help the planet, they contribute to our own sense of well being and connection. Okay, next we have financial well being. This is all about feeling satisfied and secure with your financial situation, not just for right now, but for the future as well.
And this quote from the source material just says it all. This isn't about being wealthy or having a ton of money. It's about feeling in control and being free from that constant, grinding stress that money worries can cause.
And that means learning how your finances work, making sure your spending actually reflects what's important to you, and having a bit of a plan. That sense of stability, man, it takes a huge amount of mental and emotional strain right off your shoulders. And that brings us to our final pillar. Number 8 is occupational well-being. This is all about finding personal satisfaction and feeling enriched by your work or whatever your primary life activities are. And please, hear this. Occupation does not just mean a paid job. It could be your studies, it could be volunteering, it could be caregiving, whatever you dedicate most of your time to. The goal is to feel like what you do is meaningful, that you get to use your unique talents, and that it helps you grow. Okay, phew. So we've gone through all 8 pillars. But the real magic isn't in any single one of them. It's in how they all connect.
Just look at this. It's like a positive domino effect. Let's walk through it. Say you decide to really focus on getting good sleep. That's your physical health. Well, what happens next? Your mood improves. There's your emotional well-being. Then, with a better mood, you're more focused at work. That's occupational well-being, which could lead to more stability. And there's your financial well-being. See? One small positive change can create this incredible chain reaction.
So what's the big takeaway here? Self-care isn't about just fixing one broken part of your life. It's about taking care of the entire system, the whole you. That is how you build true, lasting resilience. The kind of resilience that not only helps you face your own challenges, but allows you to be a safe harbor for others when they're facing theirs. So I want to leave you with this to think about. Which one of these pillars in your life is doing pretty well? And which one, if you're being honest, could use a little more attention? Thinking about that, that's the first step to building a stronger, more balanced, and more resilient you.